Hi guys, radio host Matt Free was speaking about the problem of housing in Britain and some of the conditions that many private and social housing tenants have to put up with. Black mould being one of the worst. In 2020, a young child died in a high-profile case, but thousands of people are suffering both the short-term and long-term effects of being exposed to such spores, which is extremely difficult to get rid of. Matt, however, spoke to a landlord who complained about her tenants not opening the windows enough. Have a listen.
No, you're absolutely right. The other example I just wanted to give was that, having said that, social tenants are not regarded as, worthy of having, adequate repairs completed for them. But having said that, I'm also a landlord, and unfortunately, when it comes to stuff like damp and mould, I do feel people are jumping on the bandwagon. Personally speaking, I've got tenants. They've got a few cats. They're on like a third floor flat. They don't open their windows and they complain about mould. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I said, you're not opening your windows because you've got cats in the house, and I can see that. And
but maybe also they're not opening the windows because it's been pretty cold until recently, and the heating bills are extortionate. So maybe that's the reason why they're not opening them.
I've got mould on my property. Well, I don't have mould, but every time I see a few dark patches, I get the usual spray out and I open the windows up for a bit. I mean, I have it, and, I get rid of it every year. It crops up somewhere in the corner. Well, yeah, we deal with it. But saying that you've got mould growing, but you can't open the windows because you've got cats, I just think it works both ways. But yeah.
It works both ways. So some people are jumping on the black mould bandwagon. So what is the problem here? Look, I don't know this specific case because we haven't been inside the flat. We don't know what, the age of this building or whatever. But generally, opening the window is not going to get rid of mould. Opening the window will help prevent it if the apartment or whatever is constantly ventilated. Yes, that will help prevent mould. But if you already have mould, it's extremely difficult to get rid of. And opening the window isn't going to make that much of a difference. The problem is humidity within the building itself. Now, if it's an old building, it's going to be very difficult to fix. Even if it's a new building, if there are high levels of humidity inside, opening the window is not going to really stop the mold. And in many cases, if there has already been mold within the building, you have to rip up the wall, rip down the plaster, rip off the plaster and treat the walls and then replaster in some cases. And of course, a landlord doesn't want to spend that much money. It's very expensive to repair the damage mold does. And of course, mold can attach itself to furniture and fabric. So even if there is no mold in the original building, if you bring in some of your property that has mold on it, then it's going to help it spread. So there are a number of different factors here, but the simple solution of just open the window isn't going to fix the problem. It's a very expensive problem, and many landlords don't want to actually spend the money, especially if there's a tenant already in the building. When it comes to social housing, there's another problem. Councils don't have any money, and it's very difficult for councils to raise finance. They need to rely on central government, and at the minute the Tories are trying to cut funding to councils. So councils are seeing their budgets get smaller and smaller, and the costs in fixing problems like this get bigger and bigger. So I think it's going to be a problem for the long term at least, or the medium term at least. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.